¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the best social media management tools for 2026. Let's get into it. First of all, if you don't know who I am, my name is Pedro Millán. I literally own 2 SMMA agencies and I have 50 million views to my name to date, 100 appointments booked to date, and a Grammy to my name. I'm not trying to sell you anything, just trying to help you make better content. But I want to make apparent to you that there are a million tools and you'll still be overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on right now, especially on social media, but it will make you more inconsistent than anything else because there's so many choices, right? And with the concept of choice, we tend to not to do anything because we overanalyze, otherwise known as analysis by paralysis. So in this video, I hope to give you simple 2026 options, or a generative tool stack that you could use for research, content creation, scheduling, and analytics. So that way, making content in 2026 is much easier than this year, right? As of recording this. So the goal above anything else, right, especially when it comes to research, because let's start with research, is to never run out of content ideas. And how can you do that, really? The only way to run out of content ideas is by not having any energy and you refuse to do any research overall, right? So here's some of the best tools that I've used on a consistent basis in order to research what's happening in the algorithms and what's working, so that way I can apply it to my personal brand and develop it the way that I want to. The first thing is absolutely kind of obvious, but it's YouTube. It's literally YouTube. YouTube search. The reason why I say YouTube is because a lot of people, they just go about oh, I should get this program and, maybe talk about this, and, maybe a lot of people are talking about this, that, and the third. And to be honest with you, YouTube is the second largest search platform on the planet, right? So then why not just use the second biggest platform for search and just literally put filters by most popular this year or specific keywords in your specific niche in order to find proven topics? It's very simple. Literally just all you have to do is just type into the search bar and see what people are typing, right? It's like how-to videos, especially when it comes to educational, which a lot of people are doing right now. It's just literally how to X, how to X thing and X niche, how to do this faster, how to X simpler, this thing explained, or the truth about, it's very simple. It's just all you have to do is just put a couple words into the search bar, and then you get a whole drop down menu of about 10 to 20 ideas about what you want to talk about. And guess what? Every single search has its own results. So then you're going to find videos that do well specifically on that specific search term or specific phrase that you can put into YouTube on a consistent basis. So that way you can recreate those videos for your channel, which is awesome. And this is beyond YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and anything, because YouTube talks about everything. But getting better at YouTube, you can only get better at YouTube by researching YouTube, if that makes sense. Now, if you want to take this a step above that, understanding keyword ideas, search volume, and competition, then you use vidIQ. I don't care what anybody says, vidIQ is way better than TubeBuddy. Nobody can tell me anything different, because with vidIQ, not only does it give you generative ideas on a consistent basis, literally you can't figure out a way to get less ideas with vidIQ, because literally they give you not only the generative ideas, the daily ideas that they do, the keywords that are essentially trending right now in your specific niche. You can literally set up comparisons between you and competitors overall, what they're posting, what are their titles, what are the titles of specific things using keywords that you want to rank for on YouTube specifically, what are their thumbnails, are they working, are they not, why are they working, why are they not working, etc., etc., etc. And it's absolutely amazing. My business partner, Zach, if you've seen any of our ad agency stuff called Erroneous by Design, you can literally check in one of the first links in the description. And he put me on. He put me on to vidIQ. I knew about vidIQ before talking to him and before we got into business together. But then overall, I started to notice that once I started optimizing my channel for keywords, then obviously my YouTube has more views now. I literally talk to people like this, talking head videos, but now I'm putting titles and thumbnails and making sure that my whole channel YouTube can realize that my whole channel is catered towards those specific keywords. And now I'm ranking and my impressions are like going through the roof right now in comparison to the last year, right? Which is absolutely amazing. So if you're going on YouTube and you're trying to be a YouTuber, like vidIQ is your best friend. Now moving on. Now let's say you're doing short form content overall. Like you're trying to dedicate time into Instagram and TikTok because that's where your audience is at, right, as a business owner. Now, one thing that I would recommend is getting the program Sort Feed. Reason being is because more often than not, when people recreate trends or recreate a viral content on short form content, usually you'll get a kickback from the views of those specific videos, right? Whether it be in a stitch or whether you post manually or you just recreate the trend overall or just a top performing post from that specific person. Now you can actually sort all of these posts based upon the top performing posts from this specific person or influencer or business owner that you happen to follow or thought leader, and you can get every single post, their likes, their follows, their comments, their shares per post on an Excel spreadsheet, which is absolutely amazing. I don't know about the follows actually, let me retract that. But I know for a fact it's like, comments, and shares. I literally use Sort Feed all the freaking time. And you get this nicely updated Excel spreadsheet based upon their results within a past like 100 posts, 200 posts, 50 posts, 25 posts. You can literally categorize it how you want, but it's absolutely amazing in the sense of you're trying to look for more content to post on a consistent basis via short form for Instagram or TikTok. Now, the last one is essentially ChatGPT. The reason why I love ChatGPT more so than anything else is for copywriting or essentially using it as a springboard. For example, like if I literally say, hey, I'm trying to do some research on some business event planners. Like I literally just had to do this. And I asked ChatGPT, who are the top performing business event planners that have been written about in articles or other websites and have a decent following to their name that I can use as a reference. And it literally popped out with like, I think it was like 20 different people that otherwise I would have had to spend a couple hours just basically looking through keywords on Instagram, which is cool, but like I don't have that type of time. You know what I'm saying? I need to get some frames or angles that my client could use on a consistent basis. So therefore, I used ChatGPT and I was like, all right, cool. Now I can literally start with these 20 and then now I can do research on the 20 instead of just looking for the initial 20 and then doing research on them, which would literally last days, right? Instead of I just did it in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Not only this, ChatGPT also is really good at helping you create captions, especially in a specific voice. Now, if you want to use an even better prompt generative format, you could use Claude. I love Claude more so than anything else, but most people know ChatGPT, which is why I put ChatGPT here. And I think Claude it outperforms ChatGPT when it comes to copywriting. Whereas if you're just looking for a generic like summarization of what you basically said on the video, then for sure, like that would be your pick. But if you're trying to do that and actually provide value, like on these text-based formats, or like like Twitter, formerly X, or X, formerly Twitter, or like Threads, or like Blue Sky, or any of these places, then you probably want to be doing Claude. But if you're just going to stick to doing captions as far as like TikTok and Instagram, or even LinkedIn, to be quite honest with you, I would stick with ChatGPT, especially if you could do this at scale, right? Now, the next thing, here are the programs that I use for planning and scripting, essentially just to organize your brain. Your goal for planning and scripting should be to have a clear plan for filming or designing your content overall. The reason why I say that is because you have to have a database of where all of your content is, either where the creatives are or where the links are, so you can monitor the performance, etc., etc., etc. A really great platform to pick is actually Notion or Google Docs. And to be quite honest with you, like I would much rather have all my posts either on Google Doc or Notion more so than anything else, because of the fact that you can develop a content calendar, have no issue, develop video scripts with no issue, reel hooks with no issue, caption templates, and a various amount of things when talking about the spoken word. Yes, you can use like notes or like Microsoft Word and stuff like that, but more so than anything else, it's just like it's dependent on the space that you have on your device. Like, let's say if you have 512 gigabytes or whatever, it's like, where are you going to put all those pages, you know what I'm saying? Or even Pages for Mac. Like, who the heck uses Pages? You know what I'm saying? It's cool, whatever, some people use it, but I would much have it on a cloud system, being like Google Doc or like Notion, so that way I can literally refer back to it at any given time and I can make as much as I want. All I have to do is just pay for more space, right? Especially with a terabyte worth of space, especially on Google, it's like that's enough space in order to literally just like put all your scripts together. Now, the next thing, which is more so optional, I use Google Sheets a lot, but it's also optional. I use Google Sheets because of, just like I like being organized, especially with my content more so than anything else, like with posts, platforms, performance. And I can see this via the number value. And a little bit later into the video, I'll talk to you about how I use my analytics. If you don't have this specific platform, you could use Google Sheets and literally jot everything down, or get your VA, your virtual assistant, in order to do it for you, right? And this is just essentially for posts, platforms, and performance, as far as like just to keep it very simple, more so than anything else. Now, as far as content creation, woo baby, we got to make it look and sound good. So then how are we going to do that? Our goal with content creation is to make as much content as fast as possible with good enough production. Okay? Because I've said it so many times on this channel, like 2026 is the year for low effort edits and a consistent foundation of just repeatable, repostable, reusable content, especially if you're making YouTube videos, right? So then what are you going to do? First of all, you have to get your membership from Canva. I don't care what anybody says. You can make thumbnails, you can make carousels, you can make simple graphics that literally apply to every single platform. You have so many choices that like you could do so many things, even videos on Canva if that's your thing. But my main thing is just like, I would much rather have Canva as my my on-site graphic designer, or give my on-site graphic designer a specific platform access to Canva, so that way they can use everything. And I use the pro version because literally I use Canva like almost every single day, especially when it comes to my stuff and everybody else's stuff. Like, I'll probably develop a thumbnail on Canva just to make for this specific video, right? So I use Canva. I swear by Canva all the freaking time. Now, the next thing is your editor. Like, if you're editing all your videos, you have to choose some sort of main editor, right? It could be Premiere Pro, it could be Final Cut Pro, it could be CapCut in some cases. You can use like a bunch of different things, but mine that I swear by, and it's because you can't teach an old dog new tricks, I pick, more so than anything else, Adobe Premiere, because of I want to be able to have the cloud functionality between like Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects and stuff like that, or DaVinci. I also use DaVinci for color grading mostly, but love DaVinci, love Adobe Premiere Pro. DaVinci you could definitely use as your main editor, especially if you're trying to get into cinematography and filmmaking. But I just noticed that going on to Adobe Premiere Pro, like, I've spent so much time on it, and it'd be a hassle just trying to go through like a bunch of different other platforms or a new platform in order to replace all the stuff that I learned on the old one, especially when it comes to effects and stuff, and then making After Effects and then putting it immediately into a third-party program that's not within Adobe. So I feel for longer form content and short form content, it's dependent on what your preference is, but like, I literally swear by DaVinci and Adobe Premiere Pro any day of the week. Now, let's go into post scheduling and cross posting, okay? So being everywhere without going crazy. So it's essentially, the goal for cross posting and post scheduling is essentially batch once and you show up all week. Like, I literally make all my videos on a consistent basis every single day because it makes sense for my schedule. But if you don't have a schedule like mine, in which that content creation is essentially a daily concept that you do every single day, then I would suggest going into batching. And then now that once you have all these videos batched into one go, and you could show up all week with different outfits, different hairstyles, whatever, if you want to be consistent, then you're going to have to get them edited. And then once you get them edited, you're going to have to post them somewhere. But you can't post all of them on the same freaking day. So then what do? You have to basically schedule them out. And if you schedule them out, where are you going to schedule them out from? Here's my answer. So a lot of people, they say that they love Buffer. A lot of people say that they love Later. A lot of people, they love Hootsuite. I've personally tried them all. My favorite post scheduler is Metricool. The reason why, because it's literally a central hub for everything. Essentially like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, even Blue Sky. Like, what is that? Like Threads, freaking X, you know what I'm saying? It tells you the best times to post, even though that's irrelevant. And you basically see everything on one calendar. For me, the simplicity behind everything is more so important than all the functionality things, because at the end of the day, they're all third-party softwares. They're all going to affect your views to some degree, but if you happen to do like an experiment, like which third-party software scheduler that doesn't affect your views and you get roughly the same amount of views, especially when using a third-party software, then choose that one. But for me, it's been Metricool. Like, I've literally posted viral content for me and my clients on Metricool, and it hasn't been an issue. The only thing is just more so, like, obviously, from what I've learned from people who are content strategists just like me, but have way more results and work with bigger companies, of course, they've all told me to post manually. But I'm still getting the same results posting on a third-party software like Metricool, if that makes sense. So I guess it's different for people, but you try it out. I would say A/B test it, like post for a week on Metricool and post for a week manually and see what the results are. And if you get better results on one or the other, then you already know the answer, you know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. Now, if you want to do one specific platform, like if you just want to go hard on YouTube or go hard on Facebook and Instagram or go hard on TikTok, like they all have their specific native schedulers, and I would use those because you have to post manually anyway with the native schedulers. So when you use the platform, it gives better reach or features for native posters, if that makes sense. So then when you schedule the stuff, it's going to get more views, not like bar none, more so than anything else. But then again, you also have to try it. Like, you also have to see, is like, should I use a third-party software or should I post natively? But that's the idea. It's like you would get more views if you post natively to the platform overall. Now, going into analytics and optimization. So what's actually working, right? So the goal of assessing your analytics and optimization is to double down on your winners and then kill the duds, right? You're not going to consistently post or reschedule posting all the freaking time to post that didn't necessarily get a lot of engagement. You're gonna use the same freaking post that got 1 million views, 100,000 views, 500,000 views, 20,000 views, etc., 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 because they still work consistently at any time, any day, any year. Because good marketing always works. That's what I learned from positioning, right? From shout out to Jill Trout and Al Reese. But one thing that I would take into consideration, if you're going to use a third-party software, I would use the analytics of the third-party software, especially if they're in one place. For me, it's Metricool, so I can literally see everything as far as analytics and be like, hey, so we did 12 million views this year. Fantastic. And we also see cross-platform performance just in one place, which is super important to me. And also see which posts bring reach, likes, clicks, and leads overall, especially when we have a funnel attached to them, more so than anything else. Same thing with, like, if you're a YouTube person, you're a YouTube fanatic, YouTube Studio does this for you via average view duration, click-through rate, retention, so you can fix your hooks, thumbnails, literally intros and whatnot. So literally you can do this all in platform if you're just doing YouTube. Again, if you want to go the next level to that as far as analytics are concerned, please use vidIQ, so that way you can see your analytics even more robust than before, especially if you see how your videos rank over time. Whereas you can do that on YouTube Studio, no problem, but with vidIQ you can basically see which topics to revisit or spin into a new series, especially when it comes to making content for your YouTube channel. But now here's the next thing, essentially simple automations, and just essentially to buy back your time a little bit. So the main thing to incorporate for automations overall is less manual grind. Why? Because we want to make sure that if we're doing things more than twice, then we have to create a system in order to actually make this into a consistent thing within our business. Like, for example, making a thumbnail, like that should be made into a system, or writing a script, that should be made into a system. Researching, that should be made into a SOP. Like, everything that you literally do more than twice has to be made into a system, especially when it comes to content creation. So then therefore, what are you going to use? You're going to use the platforms that you currently use on a current basis, but you're going to attach an automation software to it. And what do you have? You have Zapier or Make, right? I use Zapier in both of my businesses more so than anything else to connect it to any automation softwares that I'm currently using. Meaning, I use Go High Level and I also use ManyChat. Both of those platforms are absolutely amazing, especially when it comes to making DM automations for your specific social media platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. However, if you want to go a little bit more robust, you can use Zapier or Make to connect to those specific third-party softwares, especially when leads come through the door via your organic content or your ads. So that way you never have to touch anything. And that's more so my thing, more so than anything else. It's like literally just efficiency as far as how much time can I save with the specific action so I can continuously get back to the things that I currently want to go back to, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure that you keep it light though. You don't want to put like a crap ton of automations. Like you would just want to remove the repetitive work or the repetitive tasks that literally take you away from the stuff that actually pushes the needle when you're making content or when you're making ad creatives or when you're essentially connecting all your automation softwares to your specific platforms overall. So to wrap up, overall, this is a long ass video. If I had to start from scratch in 2026, this is what my stack would be, like my software stack. With research, I would use YouTube search, vidIQ, SortFeed, and ChatGPT. For planning, I would use Notion, Google Docs, and Google Sheets. For creating, I would use Canva, your favorite editing software, being, for me, it's Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, but you can use CapCut and everything else. And for scheduling and analyzing, I would use your favorite scheduler. My favorite scheduler is Metricool and YouTube Studio. And then more so than anything else, if you just pick one thing from one of these 4 categories, then you're already going to be doing better than most companies that don't make content at all. I hope this was helpful. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe because I put videos out like this every single day and you don't want to miss them. Literally about storytelling, social media marketing, how to make content for your business, etc., etc. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, whether on the personal brand side or on the ad side to develop more business for your brand and for your business overall, click the first links in description. It's like literally 1 or 2 depending on what you're looking for. And we can schedule a call in order to help you out overall. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Peace.